Welcome to Goldpill. This is a YouTube channel where we talk about spirituality, religion, love, relationships, health, nutrition, exercise, fitness, mental health, and mental strength. Today we're going to talk about why you shouldn't allow your ego to weaponize religion. Now, most people are practicing religion and spirituality very shallow. And a lot of people have loaded opinions with their religions because you can fall in love with something so much you can't see yourself without it. And so you begin to think, well, how can someone else possibly live without this thing that I love that I can't live without? And I want to explain why you shouldn't do something so immature and ignorant. It's very childish, as a matter of fact. If I love pizza, it's okay for me to love pizza. But what's not okay is for me to force my love on pizza on everybody else. We can all love what we love without allowing ourselves to become destructive about it, without trying to put other people down. And so when you get into studying these religions, everybody has their prophet that they love. And what you have to realize is that not only is it immature and ignorant for you to try to force something you love on other people, it's actually very destructive and it's foolish as well. Because if you look into the religion, most of the time, these people who we make larger than life, like Yeshua, for example, people call him Jesus. You're not even calling his name correctly. His name is Yeshua. He spoke to a multitude of thousands, and there was only 12 people left to follow him. And that's not uncommon, because when you look at the stories of other wise sages and prophets and enlightened men, like Shiva, for example, meditated for days, weeks, and months, and there was dozens of people to witness him, but there was only 7 left who wanted to follow him and learn how to become as great as he was. And then when you look at the stories of Haru from Egypt, and by the way, Shiva's from India. When you look at the stories from Haru from Egypt, you look at he needed followers to do certain tasks, to go to war with him, to learn his sacred knowledge. And there was only about 4 people who was worthy, because most people weren't ready to put in the work. This level of spirituality that is very great, that requires a life sacrifice, is called renunciation. It existed before Shiva, it existed before Haru, and it existed before Yeshua, and it existed before many sages. They take part in this journey. And although there's different expressions of it in Europe and India and Africa and America even, it's all a journey and a path of enlightenment to the Creator. It's a path of devotion. And so what you have to understand, that this level of spirituality, this renunciation, requires a person to give up their family, their friends, their marriage, their children, and their job. You even give up your own personal identity and your ego to become a renunciate and devote your whole path every day, every moment, every second to the Creator. But here's the thing about that. Like, if you really study people who are like masters and at the highest level of competence and performance, like let's say chess, for example, like there's more billionaires than there are grandmasters, because the combination of talent that it takes, this high level talent, and this high level life devotion that it takes to achieve the highest level of chess, most people want to have the talent and the work ethic. And so me telling you not to criticize other people is equivalent to a master of chess. I'm not saying I'm a master, but it would be equivalent to like a master of chess talking to like somebody who's like a class C player, trying to talk down on class E guys, like, hey, no, you're not actually that good at your own path to be talking down on others. Instead, use a religion as what it should be, your way to have a relationship to the Creator, and you got to realize how special, unique, and sacred it is. It's not something for you to boast around and go trying to put others down. It's okay for you to find a group of people who think like you, who feel like you, who feel as passionate as you are, but you shouldn't be looking down on others with your religion. Instead, use your religion to uplift others. And if the person doesn't agree with you, then be mature enough to agree to disagree. In addition, your relationship with the Creator, the divine, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, even by name or by no name, it is so unique, special, and sacred that it is not something for you to even share. Like, if you can share it with somebody who can appreciate it, that is a blessing. But like, if someone else cannot relate to you in the way that you want, then that's okay, because that's a sacred relationship. Like, you have a private relationship. Like your relationship with God shouldn't be something that becomes a crusade. Like, hey, if you don't relate to God like how I do, then I should punish you. Because your relationship with God is very private. It would be equivalent to my marriage. Like, if I'm married and in love with someone and someone else doesn't get it or understand it, then that's okay, because I'm in love and I'm happy, and the person I'm with is in love and happy. And so there would be no reason for me to use my relationship with someone I love to terrorize someone else. In fact, when people do this kind of thing where they weaponize their religion and they become egocentric, and if you don't think like how I think, then something's wrong with you, it is not only destructive and foolish, but it's actually very insecure. The fact that you cannot agree to disagree, or that you feel compelled to force me to try to take advantage of my open-mindedness or my naivety, or the fact that I just don't agree with you, it actually reflects that something in you is lacking. Like, maybe you don't even believe in what you believe in seriously, which is why you feel the need to constantly try to force, repeat, and argue. Are you arguing and repeating yourself for me? Or are you arguing and repeating yourself for you because you don't even really believe in what you think you believe in? Because if you're really serious about your devotion to God, you're going to be too busy doing it. So therefore, let your relationship with God be just that, your relationship. And if someone else can't get it, then that's okay. Because there's more than one way to slice an apple. There's more than one way to cook fish. There's more than one way to travel. If one person is going by boat, another person going by car, another person going by plane, another person going by bike, and another person walking, then everybody has their own path. And maybe this person is supposed to walk. Maybe another person is supposed to swim. Maybe another person is supposed to fly. And yeah, it may not make sense to you, but it makes sense to them. And let that be okay. That's mature. Adults can agree to disagree. But people who are intellectual children, they can't agree to disagree. They're too immature. Because what has happened to these kind of people is someone took advantage of you when you were open-minded and naive. And you haven't gotten over it. And so now you live your life trying to take advantage of other people. So we got to get over the hump. Because to make the world a better place, we need people to think. We need people to love. We need people to respect each other. We need people from all walks of life with all strengths and advantages to come together. We need the Hare Krishnas. We need the Jehovah's Witnesses. We need the Muslims. We need the Christians. We need all the devotees who are not satanic, not the dark people. We need all the good people, all the light workers to come together to make the world a better place. Because if there's one thing that the upper cabinet relies on, is our differences. And they rely on us to highlight our differences, which is why they're always promoting nonsense and sensationalism. But that's another story for another day. For now, let's finish the video on a very positive tip. Let's love each other despite our differences. Respect other people's path. Realize that your journey and your path to God is just that. It's your journey and it's your path. You don't need to weaponize your religion. You don't need to force it on anybody, because it's your relationship with God. And if you happen to find other people who agree with you, that's great. But if you find somebody who doesn't agree with you, it doesn't mean something is wrong with them. That just means they're on their path and that they have to make it to God in their way. Perhaps in your way, maybe later on in a different time of their life, perhaps in a different way. But attacking other people with your religion is immature. It is one of the root causes of problems and strife. There's so much bloodshed, so much pain and agony with people who claim to come in the name of this God or that God, when really these are satanic people disguised as if they come on behalf of the Creator, but they're really Satanists. And so what happens is they're able to deceive and fool the average person, because the average person isn't processing reality properly. And the average person is now falling into the snare of trying to leverage their belief or their religion against others, when really we need to leverage love. We need to leverage our integrity. We need to leverage our morality, and we need to leverage our unity against the forces of evil on the planet. And so therefore, let this be a hump that we can get over. Let's love each other despite our differences, despite our spiritual paths, despite our religions, and let's come together. So thanks. You guys have a good night. I got dinner cooking. I'm excited. It's delicious. I'm going to post it. You're going to cook with Goldpill later on this week. But for now, you guys have a good night. Peace.